Yes, there's something moving down there. Little mite or something. You see it? Okay, come on. Anyway, here we are. Thursday morning, my week begins. Morning. Look at this, the regular suspects. You guys have nothing better to do. God. Okay, here we are. You know what we're doing for the next few days anyway, at least. Chemo's finished. The chrysanthemum's finished. Her hand is finished. I haven't done the rim yet. Let's get busy on the, I think it's part of her chair, sort of the basket chair she's sitting in. That's why we take most of the morning. Today's Thursday. The paper's out, yeah. Just one printer up there today. I know Ishikawa-san's off this week. Her husband is out of town, so she has to take care of the dog, so she won't be here. Dei-chan's off. She's going to Hong Kong next week. She's getting ready for that. Suga-san is here. She's working on Fox Moon, the Kira Heroes project. You're ready. Let's go. I got a ton of work done in Omei this weekend. I can't say work, but I got a ton of stuff done. I'm sure I saw something walking around in front of this block, but I can't see it now. So. Okay, let's just go. Something else I should mention, probably should do it before Cameron gets here. I don't know if he wants me to talk about it. So it's okay if I tell you about it. It's a private project that Cameron's got cooking up. And he probably wouldn't bring it up himself, thinking that, he's not supposed to talk about private projects while he's here at Hong Kong working. But he does have a private project going. He's got a bit of a fundraising campaign going for something that he's working on. I'm sure it's okay if I talk about it, because whatever, it's a fundraising campaign. He wants people to know about it. So I should, rather than try and talk about it too much, I should just copy and paste a link to it. Hang on a second, let me try and find this. Can I do this as a drag and drop? Hang on a second. Let's try this. Oh, it looks like I can do a drag and drop here. This is something Cameron is working on in his own free time. So, the Slow Country Research. So you know about it. So we've talked about this. Okay, good. I can't remember if we've mentioned it or not. Anyway, here's the link to his actual campaign. He probably wouldn't bring it up himself later on this morning. So. So maybe I'm late to the party. Maybe he already talked about that here on the stream. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Last week is a long time ago. Anyway, the link is there if it's useful for somebody. So. As far as show and tell today, I don't have an official old collection show and tell, but there is something related to our work that's going on today that I could show you. So if you remind me later on when Cameron's here towards the end of the stream, we do have something interesting to show you. just disappears. This wiggled line just disappears at the end. This is a weekend out in Ome there. It was raining every day, just pouring rain top to bottom. But it just helped me keep away from the river, so I got a chance to do more work, got more work done. So. And we've got some staffing stuff to do out in Ome now. The increase, our work has increased and the sales are going up and up and up steadily. The shop was quiet this summer, but subscriptions are doing very, very, very well. And the subscription, shipping, the packing and shipping and prep, of course, all happens out in Ome. We don't do any of that work here in Asakusa. We do the bookkeeping part of it here, the emails and the bookkeeping and stuff. But all the shipping happens out in Ome. And they're starting to get a bit backlogged. The shipping ladies, there's 2 of them. They don't work full-time. Basically, it's sort of one person full-time, but they share it among two people. It's the way they want it. They're housewives, they have kids. One of the ladies has a special needs child. So their schedules are sometimes quickly changed. So because there's 2 of them, they can step in for each other. And you can get shipping done most days without delays. But they are now starting to fall behind because the subscription work is building up and building up. Plus, we've been preparing for the winter gift season. We've been printing in advance many of the small Hadaki prints, the ones that we know will be popular, very popular in October, November, December. And they've been getting those ready, packing them. And they're falling behind. And the last week when I was there, both of them asked me the same thing. They said they'd like me to consider finding another 3rd person to work with them. And that's going to be sort of tough. There's lots of housewives out there, I guess, who would like a part-time job. But finding a way to fit in a 3-person in a rotation. And what happens now, these 2 ladies, they each have jobs that each of them does only. And Mrs. A does the A jobs, Mrs. B does the B jobs. And then there's C-type, which both A and B do, the actual daily shipping that has to be done every day, no matter who's there. So over the years, they've built up a real division of labor of their work. And all of a sudden, to throw some 3rd person in, what do? Do you have her relieve A, relieve B, try and learn to do all the jobs, which these ladies have learned over decades, or a decade at least. So throwing a new face into it is not a trivial question. Plus the problem of finding a person who's competent. How do you know they're competent before you hire them? It's not a question of an interview and looking at their school history and stuff. It's nothing to do with that. Hold on, I'm out here, so whatever interviewing and discussions and training stuff has to happen in Ome, but I'm out here in Asakusa, of course. When we hired those 2 in the first place, I was there, I was living there. So they came for testing and training and chatting now and then, and I could do that, but now I'm not there. And the busy season for us is coming up any minute now. Any minute now. Working with new people here to Success is no big deal because there's so many other staff. They just jump in and just swing together with the other staff for a while. Somebody training here. There's one more starting on Saturday, coming next Saturday to start training for print parties and shop. And it doesn't matter. We just tell them to come, start one morning, and that's it. They don't do anything the first day, but they hang out, they watch, they join. The other people tell them what's going on. They just get the feel of the job bit by bit. I'm not talking about printers, I'm talking about shop staff, print party. Okay, now before we can go inside this, I've got to sharpen it. The tip of the knife is gone a little bit, so I've got to sharpen it. What's this? Did Dave say anything that could be important to me? What? What? Did Dave say anything that could be important to me? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Anyway. Well, in fact, the tip of it's a little bit broken, I think. I don't know when you did that. So we'll go back to the 400 stamp. We'll just take a tiny bit of dressing here, not so much. About the music and stuff, the music, whatever, there's nice comments, I think. I know I didn't get this, there wasn't hundreds of comments about the music, but the comments on the YouTube video did say the music they thought was appropriate and enjoyable. And thanks very much for allowing us to use that, you know. And what I should do about the music, of course, is, you know, maybe try and tee up the next one a bit earlier. This all happened at the very last minute, you know, because I had asked somebody else about the music first, but I guess they were too busy to respond. So, just a minute, let me get this sorted out. One of the things I did out in Omagh the last couple of days, it was raining, so I couldn't play outside too much in the river. So I was digging around in the basement, and I have an idea that I'd like to make one of the next videos out there in Omagh. There's two actual videos. One is a video that's no connection with any of our Moko Hong Kong work, sort of a private project I'd like to think about. It might be better to record that video out in Ome so that there's no confusion about the printmaking. But another idea that came up yesterday while I was out there, digging in the boxes of the old stuff. The video series that we have going on, the Beginnings series, Beginnings number 1, Beginnings number 2, it might be a good idea to record the next one of those out there in Ome. The next video in that series is going to be about the 100 Poets series that I did over 10 years. And all the props that I would need to talk about. The old diaries from that day, the prints themselves, the wood blocks, all the stuff from that time. Exhibition pamphlets and all the things that are in our archives. Everything's out there in Ome rather than here in Saksa. So it might make sense to do that next video out there in Ome, which means though, of course, lights, camera, tripod, the whole stuff, all of our video stuff that we've built up here in Asakusa isn't in Ome anymore. So which is the least of the two evils? Bring all the props here to Asakusa or take all the video stuff out to Ome? The lights and everything else. And don't have to worry about the teleprompter so much because that next Beginnings video will be a sort of a ramble type, so it's not a question of reading a script on the teleprompter. So. But all the lights, that room is so dark. Okay, I think we're good to go here. Knock off the final version. Good. Now this is a real reduction in size. Now we've come down to real prints. I've got the Meiji original here. The real print is this size. And these strokes, the guy, Kajita Hanko, the designer, he took his brush, he must have been a single, just one single pass with his brush. And then down at the bottom of this. And each of those wiggles, it really has a nice taste. I don't know how much of it shows up in the video here, you can see it. There's a deep, thin, shum, 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 shum. You can see the strokes of the brush, but they're natural, they vary each one. And when I carved my own reproduction, I must have caught a reasonable amount of that. Yeah, mine are pretty rough. Look at that, square corners. I'm still a beginner, look at that. That probably came when I traced it. I probably lost the taste of that when I traced it. There's a bit more here, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick. Look at that, it's embarrassing to show you that, and I shouldn't have shown you this, it's too embarrassing. Yeah, look at that. So now the problem now, of course, is this is shrunk down now to around 45% in terms of the length on this. So I can't even see these things. So I'm just going to make this up as I go along here. There's no way I can see it. The copy process that I used didn't catch that. It's just got the rough shapes, there's the curves. But that wiggle, there's nothing, it's just a little grey trace of what it is. So Dave here is just going to have to carve something that has a bit of a feeling of that taste. The main thrust is the strokes. Well, notice they're different. This comes up, this one comes down. And here one by one. Mostly it's the body outwards on the top side. Things up towards the body, things up towards the other side. Things up towards the body on the nose. Okay. Things up towards the body on the nose. Alright, let's try this. Some of the inner line gets in the way, a bit more difficult there. Okay, there's the basic line, so they're basically still triangles. I've got to knock off the corners, get them a bit rounded at the top. Okay. Not so bad, we'll see. This is first cut after we do a test printing. We'll see. Some of these I think clearly are a bit too thick. This is thick all the way up. It needs to thin out more, but I can't see where to thin it yet. You can see a bit, that was too thinned up in the middle here. Let's see, let's try. Yeah, you can see some. Okay, well, yeah, it won't look too bad once it's printed. We'll see. We'll find out at test printing time. Let's do it again on the other side. I don't think I can get any closer, without defocusing. You can try and get closer, but I don't know if it'll do that. This is probably about as far as it'll go. And considering how far away you guys all are, I don't know if we can actually get any closer. Now this one I think is the other way around. That stroke came thinner as they got to the outside, because that's, what did we do? That last one I did was the top side. The strokes were deep at the bottom inside the handle and thinned out as they went to the outside. And these are the other way around, because he just used the same brush going the same way. This pattern's the same the other way around. They get thicker and deeper on the outside of the piece of wood, whatever it is, and they get thinner on the inside. They go the other way around. So let's try. Thin on the inside, okay. There's more interference here from the middle lines too. It's going to be tougher. I'm not all the way, there's no more there, so let's just start. Was that the door behind you? I think that must be Susan coming in, sure. I think I heard some footsteps on the stairs behind me. we've got it. These ones from backwards, we had one, but actually they're rather the same sort of mood. Deep, shallow, deep, shallow, deep, shallow. This is deep, shallow, deep, shallow, deep, shallow. We can maybe trim a tiny bit. They shouldn't be straight sides, they should be curved. No one's going to be able to see it anyway in the finished print, it'll be so small, but whatever. When we print this, one thing that's really going to put some extra time on this job when we're printing it is that all the paper for this job, when we print, is going to have to be pressed before we start. We're going to have to put it into the, we've got an etching press that we use. And all of this paper is going to have to go in the etching press first to be really flattened. It's going to have to be calendared really strongly before we can print this job, because these lines are so delicate and fine. They're finer than the roughness that's in the paper when we start with it. I can't really show it. It doesn't much matter the piece of paper. The paper, maybe you can see it actually. So this is the piece of the washi that we use from Iwano-san. Maybe you can see it if I get the light right. It doesn't have actually a very smooth surface. It depends on what level you're talking about. It's smooth. It's a piece of paper. But look at it. It looks like the surface of the moon in a little bit. There's picks and pops and dings and holes and whatever. It's just a natural way it is. In the old days, the paper we got was look at this, you can see these lines. What that is, that's where the guy, he's put the paper on the drying boards, and then as they peel it off the drying boards, instead of peeling it off lightly like this, they've peeled it off like this. And as it's still a tiny bit wet, that curl, as they peel it off, has formed striations horizontally in the paper. They should not be there. The way they pull paper off in the real world, it should be, it's stuck on the board, you pull a corner, pop, and it lifts up like this. So it comes up off the board. Instead, they've stuck it on, and it's peeled off like this, leaving all those striations. So if I tried to print this carving, look at it, look at it, look at it. The carving I've just done here is way smaller than the basic striations in this paper, which is supposed to be the world's best living national treasure. Don't want to talk about it, paper. So before we can print these, every sheet of this stuff has to go through our etching press. It'll go face down on the metal bed of the press with a blanket behind it, and it'll be super strong pressure. And that'll give the paper a calendared surface. I don't have a piece of it here to show you, but that'll give it a calendared surface. So when we print this key block, we can just kiss it. Just kiss it. We don't need to go. Ding dong. Well, you're talking about the bell. We used to have a bell when people came up the stairs to the second floor. We had a bell that rang. It's still there. It's just unplugged. Got a question about the persimmon with the round bokashi. Is that no? That's too small. The one on the Instagram is really small. It's just with your hand. So it's only like whatever 3 centimeters. The one I used the jig for was a piece of paper that was this big, and I needed to do that ichimoji bokashi around the edge of that. And there's no way I could keep my hand in exactly the same place. It's on the blog, It'll be back in the woodblock.com roundtable blog. I can't find it at the moment here, but there was a blog post about that. No, I don't know. I can't see it while I'm sitting here. I'm sorry. No. No, sorry, I don't know. It's in there somewhere. It's on the old woodblock.com website. So. If you remind me about it later, Karen, maybe I can find it when we're off, but I can't see it or hunting for it right now. So. Actually, it must be in the blog during the years when I was making the Mystique series, when I was making the Sooty Monroe album series. Or whatever, I'll try and find it later. What Karen's talking about is that to help make a big, wide circular gradation, I used a Lazy Susan. I made a jig, which was a Lazy Susan, those things where you can go to Chinese restaurants and put food in the middle of the table and everybody can eat it. I used the base of one of those to make a jig. To make a circular gradation. I like that. Speaking about Instagram, Cameron put up the studio number 2 picture the other day. I snorted my coffee when I saw it, So. He wasn't here, of course, when I did that recording. That was done like 7 o'clock in the morning before he came that day. But he asked if I would go in there and show him how I did it. So I did. I click, whoops, there's a photograph. Bang, there it is on Instagram. So, studio number 2. Well, you might laugh at it, but we're going to do that again, because the sound of that reverb, it's really, really nice. Nice or overdone or whatever, I don't know. As I had mentioned before, the reason I went in there wasn't for the quote reverb, unquote. It was for the quietness. I just needed to get away where it was quiet. This place where I am right now, where I sit, it's okay for doing YouTube videos, but for just doing a voiceover, it's not good enough. It's too noisy here. And Ome has its own problems. It's much quieter as far as street noise goes, but the problem is the river. The river is constantly flowing right outside. And it's always a background sound, white noise background sound. These curves carving are all in a row. There's 10 or 15 of them in a row. When I was first doing this sort of work, what I would have done with this row of curves is I would have carved actually the outside first. Stupidly. Now it's the inside first. And I think that's probably the way that people did this in the old days. If you've got circular shapes, if you're carving a circle or something, it was a circular line, you have to carve out the shape on the inside, and you have to carve the outside away to leave a circle line, or any line that's curved like that. It comes up in kimono patterns all the time. I used to carve them thinking in terms of accuracy, I used to carve them on the outside first. I wouldn't have done what I did here. I would have done it this way around. I would have carved the outside first. Because carving an outside curve is more accurate than carving an inside curve. It's more difficult to scoop along and scoop along and scoop along, and you can't quite see which part of the knife blade is the target point. Because it's not the tip of the knife, Nick. It's the part of the knife that's up farther from the tip. It's like the part half of a millimeter up from the tip. So you can't follow the tip. It's gone. It's in the wood. So anyway, long story short, it's more accurate to carve outside. So I did that, and I carved more accurate circles. But the problem then, after you've carved the outside, then you have to come and carve the inside. And now it's more critical because you have to match the line you carved on the outside. So idiot. So what I do now is I carve the inside. That may not be perfectly accurate as to what was written on the paper, but it was a natural, smooth curve. And what I'll do next is I'll take these away so I can see the edge. And after I've done all that in a minute, now I come and carve the outside where I have much more control. So I can make this line have the proper taper. So the end result is you get a line which has better appearance, but may not be exactly in the critical microscopic same place it was on the original, but which is more important. And this is the whole key to this. This is why we don't use robots and lasers and whatever. It's got a nice, beautiful touch, and it's quote unquote the same picture. So taste and feel and mood and touch is much more important than microscopic accuracy. I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to be the same lines, of course, but if you microscopically compare one by one, my lines might be in a slightly different place than the original. This also, too, is why we can't use Jed's Photoshop separations for color balls, because the key lines are slightly moved from where they were in his original version. Oh, here comes. Hi, good morning. How was your weekend? Oh, no.
How was
Other way
your
around.
weekend?
Yeah. Suka. Mine was rainy. It rained all the time out there.
Yeah.
Which is
And
good.
now today it's finally a sunny day.
It's okay. I got work done. So it's fine. I'm here finding, projects, whatever.
Yeah. Not. But it also means you didn't get to relax in the river.
No, it's okay. We're over here. Put off the FaceTime camera. Hey, take this on, move it up there.
How are your projects coming along?
Good. What happened to the last 2 days, really, I erased more than I wrote, which is good. No, because I've been dumping.
Yeah, now you're trying to organize it
So I'll
and get rid
organize
of
some
things.
filter and get rid of stuff.
Cool.
Exactly.
Well, that makes sense.
Have you been hunting all the last while? Let's have a look at this. No, there was a specific old. She asked me about something I did years and years ago, and I knew that the information's on a blog post somewhere. Oh Oh, there it is. You got it. All right. Look at this. She knows my website better than I do. Good. A chocolate egg for Vivid KP.
Yeah.
Double chocolate egg for Vivid KP. You take the machine here, Cameron?
Yeah,
Sam?
sure.
I haven't really, the last few minutes or whatever, I've seen nothing. I know. Our music person was here, the young man who put the music in the last video.
Oh, okay.
And he made a couple of points I wasn't quite sure about. Is it okay, or something else? I didn't quite catch the flow of the conversation.
Oh, okay.
But I believe he's gone to bed now, gone to
Okay.
sleep or whatever. So.
Got it. Woohoo! I've never got a chocolate egg before.
Take a rain check next time you're here.
David, I bought some copies of Sword and Blossom books before your video makes them scarce.
Oh, you found some?
Yeah,
What
must
kind of
have found
price can I ask? A set of 3. Did you find a set of 3? If so, can we ask how much?
Yeah.
I think I overpaid for mine actually when I saw the receipt that I made. Because I got mine a long time ago. I probably paid too much. I think I know why. It was Mark Kahn was also chasing them, and he and I probably bid each other out.
Got
So,
it.
without knowing. So.
Yeah.
There's a whole question of once we blog about these things, I guess, bit by bit, that helps promote, it doesn't promote them, but it helps raise their profile.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it becomes more expensive. It's a bit of a,
Yep.
if I were whatever, we should, it's like insider trading.
Yeah.
No, really, you laugh. We
Yep.
should have done that. Really, I should have, before I put that video up, is this
Got some
ethical?
extra copies.
But is it ethical or not? And this is the question. It's an open, free market, right? I know what I'm doing. This is
Yeah.
not a public corporation. I don't
Right.
insider trading. Before I put that video up, if I had Googled up, found some copies in a used bookstore and bought them,
Bought a whole bunch and then put
buy
them
and
on the
sell-
store.
We buy and sell prints. That's our
Yeah.
job, right?
Yep.
Would that be ethical or not? I don't know.
I don't
If
think it would be a
the reason
problem.
they
Companies
insider
market
trading-
their own stuff all the time.
So the reason insider trading is unethical because you, with advanced knowledge that only you have, the market doesn't know this, and you were cheating the other guy by
Yeah.
either selling him your stock or buying it, whichever way around the story is going, because you know that it's going to tank and he doesn't know. So you're screwing the guy
Yeah.
who you're selling the stock to.
Right.
So I get that's why insider trading is unethical.
Yeah.
But if I had bought one set of those books before I put the video up, am I screwing that shop owner? No, because he's selling it at the current value.
Yeah.
Next week's value, after I promote it in the market with my YouTube video, is higher, but the current value is still
Yeah.
not high. I'm trying to find a way that I can do this ethically and still
Yeah.
go to sleep at night.
He says, well, I probably overpaid. I had to buy them separately. 50 for one, 60 for the next, and 100 for the third.
What numbers are we talking? These
Are
dollars?
these dollars or
pounds?
euros?
Yeah, whatever.
I think dollars. I think he's based in the U.S.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
not
paid
sure.
300 plus for my set like 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
this is
That's
if
a
they're in
good
good
deal.
condition, this
It
does
says
not
the only
sound like
full
a bad price.
sets I found were $600 to $900. So people selling one by one are actually getting paid less.
No, I'm not in a position. Is it worth it now? I don't know. It's worth what people are willing to pay. I paid
Yeah.
300 and something for my set, and I
Yeah.
feel I kind of overpaid.
Yeah.
But now I guess no, of course. I mean, that's now that more people know about it, the
Yeah.
value does
Go up.
go up. You know, so. It's an interesting question. Yeah, so. But I think the insider trading analogy is not true because it's not that there is a change in value happening out in society and I learned about it, but he didn't learn about it yet.
Right.
The change in value is going to happen because of the actions I will take next week
Yeah.
and maybe uploading a video. So I think I'm cool.
Yeah.
And having said that, we don't actually do this, but
Yeah.
whatever, this is all theoretical. So.
If we wanted to.
How's your crowdfunding campaign coming?
35% up. So it's coming.
Can I laugh when you look at the people who have joined it? A lot
Yeah.
of them have the last name Hilker. Is it okay?
Actually, some of them.
Family and
Yeah.
stuff, is it?
Yeah, but some others strangers too. Some people
Are they,
I've
are
never
they
met.
people like from BYU connections or whatever? Or you
No,
don't
some
know?
people I don't know.
don't know.
So, yay. A Harvard
How are you-
professor threw in a few dollars. I
Really?
was like, hey, I
How are
don't
you
know.
getting it out there? I mean, what's the? Are you blogging about it or something? Or?
Facebook and asking people to tell people who have have an interest in Japan to share it with people who have an interest in Japan.
We put the link here. We put the link up again this
Oh,
morning.
you did? Okay.
Yeah, just
Thanks. Thank you.
Cool. What I couldn't remember actually if we talked about it on the stream, and then I put the link up, and it turns out that we did. We talked about this the other day here. So
Yeah, I think we talked about
it
it
reminded me. I couldn't
briefly before we had even started anything. So, thanks.
But I put the link. You can put it up again if you want. The link is it's there,
Oh, okay.
and you can, if you drag it into the. There you go. Right.
Oh, cool. All right.
You probably have to hit return to get it out. This is Cameron's on a private project. What is it? What do we call it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Private research project. or-
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, it's a small thing. I'm not looking for $1 million or anything.
I was just curious whether can I ask about that? I mean,
Yeah.
when I read through the campaign, there,
Yeah.
I thought, okay, what's the purpose of the money? I thought it was going to be like to go to the people up there or something. No, you're just going to pay a train fare or
The trains
car or
and
hotel or whatever.
accommodations
It
and
didn't seem
stuff.
like much, you know.
Yeah.
Again, without trying to be sarcastic, it seemed like that's money you probably have in your pocket anyway. So is the purpose of the campaign really a bit of a to get it wider known
Yeah.
what you're doing, rather
Yeah.
than actually just to collect the money,
Right.
right? Because you
Yeah.
probably sort of have that. money in
Yes.
your pocket.
Yeah, I could pay for the whole thing, but it's nice to have extra help, and then and it lets people know about the project that's going on, and hoping.
So I was a bit
to drive
surprised at
some
sort of
interest.
at how little you were asking for.
Yeah, yeah, it's not tons. Just looking for a little extra help.
Well, that's also too one of the rules of crowdfunding is ideally build a campaign that quote will succeed. Or,
Yeah.
And if you ask for too much, that very much reduces your chances of that. So,
Right, and it's
Certainly
like
for-
Kickstarter in that you have to hit 100%
Yeah,
or you
more
get
or nothing.
0.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there are some programs.
Indiegogo talking
yeah,
about
Indiegogo lets you. If you get $20 out of your 10,000 you ask for, you get those $20.
But why didn't you choose that route? Because anything would have helped.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked experiment.com. I thought they were
A serious-
cool
yeah, yeah.
platform that was about research and science projects and
I had never heard about it
things.
before that. So.
Yeah. It seemed like a cool platform, and I emailed a couple of people, and the person who's, or I don't know, one of the people who's running Experiment got back and was very friendly. So I was just impressed with
The place.
the people in the place, so decided to go with them. Yeah.
But suppose the campaign, I don't know, suppose this actually sort of doesn't fly.
Yeah.
But you're probably going to do this anyway, right? I know,
Probably.
yeah, I'm not sure I say this. I mean, no, I mean, because you
Yeah,
want to do it.
'cause I wanna do it, yeah.
So. I mean, same with me and Jet. If you try and theorize it, if our original Kickstarter campaign for Heroes hadn't actually taken off, screw it, we would have done it anyway. I think, you know. I mean,
It may have been at a slower pace.
yeah. So
but,
exactly. Yeah, much
But I think you probably would have proceeded with your Kiowa Heroes.
yeah. So it's not an evil thing to say. But,
Yeah.
so.
I do have a question. You said woodblock prints never use white. White is the original paper. Only dark colors are used. But I found prints supposedly from the Meiji era with white paint
Yes,
as highlights
yes,
for
wait,
feathers or
wait,
water.
wait,
Are those
wait,
fakes?
Wait. Okay, I've been quoted out of context, or I quoted myself out of context. In our tradition here, where we're working based on the way prints were made in Edo, old Tokyo, almost always prints didn't use white. I know 99.x%.
Yeah.
When you see snowflakes, it's chopped away from the sky, et cetera, et cetera. Cameron's going to hunt one up here, whatever, and try and find it.
A counterexample.
That's prints that were made right there. Well, the snow right there in front of you. Show the example first. On standing up to your right, snow.
That one.
Yeah,
Yes, thank
whatever.
you.
So this
Snowy
is
Bridge.
yeah. This is the classic example of what we're talking about. All the white you see there, totally all the white you see there, is paper showing through. And this is the way prints were made in the Edo tradition back here in Japan in the old days. There were other traditions of printmaking. Do we have an example of one of those, Cameron Sam? We don't have too many
prints
here.
that recently sold on the flea market, but I think they're all now
Upstairs,
gone,
okay.
or
Where you might
upstairs.
find another example then is that woman in the snow also, the three.
Yes,
Yeah.
with the umbrella.
Okay.
One of your Mystique prints, right? Uses.
Yeah. Okay. Good. It's number
Here it
10.
is.
Yeah. There was another tradition of printmaking was/is, in general, prints that were made down in the Kansai, Kyoto, Osaka area worked with a different tradition. And those printers, used white pigment mixed in their colors. They would make pink by mixing red and white. And the snow on this print is done by being flicked onto the surface of the print. So the snow here is not white paper showing through, it's actual white powder goop on the front of the paper.
If you look really closely, you can see it bumps up. It was put
Yeah.
on top.
Yeah. So yeah, there's prints and there's prints. I don't know what can I say. Just in general, in the Cameron, in the modern pack over there, right where that carved block is,
Okay.
in front of it, there's Edo Meiji era miscellaneous. It says modern,
There it is. Yes. I didn't put this.
20th century, whatever it says.
Yeah.
I think there's a Kyoto print in there by I don't remember. With
Snow again?
Snow, but it's Kyoto style snow. No, not that one. No,
I see
smaller than
this
that.
snow, but it's
No,
not
that's
big.
very small.
I think there-
No, not this. It's a smaller. That one, bingo, right there.
This
We
one?
show,
There's no snow on this one.
but the white's there. No, I don't remember.
No, I think that's paper
Okay,
on this
okay,
one.
okay.
What about some of our painting replicas? Do those have it?
Yeah, it could be, but I'm not sure what you're going to find. I don't have them all on the top of my head here. So anyway, long story short, in Edo / Tokyo, when it was ukiyo-e and it was drawings that were created for the purpose of becoming woodblock prints, the white is mostly the paper. When you move down to the Kansai, Osaka, Kyoto area, where the prints were mostly reproductions of paintings, they did it a different way. Cameron's found
This
something
bird.
here. Yeah, that's the bird. That bird is not white paper. Yeah.
Here's the color of the paper. Here's the bird. Much like it has white pigment on top. And some of the
Again, it's
flowers as well.
Yeah, reproduction of a painting. Cameron, Mike is over here, even if you're talking quietly. Over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
That's where your audio
Too
is.
quiet.
So.
And the Japan Journey fish print. Indeed, has a little bit of...
A little tiny bit, the rain, yes. So,
I think we don't have that one down here.
more conversations probably moved on to something else.
Probably. Oh, I didn't get very far. Oh, I didn't realize there are other styles of woodblock prints. That's interesting. Is the white paint style more uncommon? I don't seem to encounter it as often. It's a different region, but
So I said, I'm talking historically, traditionally, in the modern world, lots of the modern printmakers do all kinds of stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, absolutely. I'm just speaking of the old tradition. It was different in the two urban centers. Schedule today, I am in real trouble. I put the Mikawa in last night to soak. So
Right.
I've got to do dosa today because all the printers are waiting for it on Friday.
right.
So I have to do sizing this morning. I am out of here upstairs
Yeah.
sizing for Suga-san, Ishikawa-san, Dei-chan, Tsushima-san, and our guest
Extras, yeah.
extra guest. But then, while I was away in Oma yesterday, a box arrived from Kawasaki-san. She's
Yes.
finished the double Hanshita, the second
Got
key
it.
block for the Obon print. And she's
Yeah.
now sitting at her desk with nothing
What
to
do I do?
So I've got to do that today. And
Yeah.
that means the color separations for 20 color blocks.
Oh my gosh.
There's no way I can do that. It's going to be days and days and days of work.
Yeah.
So what I'll try and do is just key an easy one, get it up, and so I can send her one or two faces. Or an option is get her to start working on the cats, 8 cats. Randall's design is ready to start carving, but
Yeah.
I don't have the cartouche because I put that to the back of my. I put that
It's on the back burner, yeah.
I didn't get to it, and now here we are. I need it like today. So I don't know what to do here. I just wasted 2 days. I should have actually stayed here and done these jobs. But, well, I couldn't. The stuff wasn't here from Cossacks.
Right. It only arrived yesterday afternoon. It was actually a late delivery, so it wouldn't have helped too much.
So I don't know. Anyway, I'm upstairs and out of here. I can't do that. I think we're okay for staff, right?
I think so. If I remember right.
Also, there's something else that needs your sort of semi-managerial ability here.
Okay.
Shiba-san sent me an email last night. She can't make the cash balance.
Okay.
She's more than 17,000 out,
Oh wow, that's
and that's
a
needs
big
to be
amount.
investigated.
okay. Yeah, I will dig into that. It wasn't that one time I took a 500 yen coin, forgot to mark it, but it's not that. No. Okay, I'll look into that.
And yes, there was lots of transactions in the shop. It was obviously a very busy day here. So,
Yeah.
So somewhere along the line, somebody has screwed up. I haven't even opened it yet.
Okay.
Just her email said 17,000, blah blah, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't have time to look at it.
No, I'll dig into that for sure. That's important. I didn't see this message earlier, but Vivid KP, who is it? Kyokudo-san earlier said, do you ever get nervous while approaching the last cuts of a block? So much attention and time has gone into it and the wrong move might ruin much. Or do you start with the most difficult cuts first? And then they talked about how repairs can be done. But then apparently you said, I am not starting on the hair with this block.
Ever since ever, my habit has been different from the traditional guys like Ito-san. He and I chatted about this one of the times I was in there to visit with him.
Yeah.
His policy, as a very experienced carver, bang, 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 was do the critical stuff first. Because if you screw up on it, you haven't wasted everything else. And if the block did have to be a restart block or something like this. And printers do the same thing. I spoke to Sato Ritsuzo-san about this. These guys are long, long dead. He was doing a Tatsumi print, and it was a giant print, like 4 oban, and it had her face in the middle, and then kimono. And the day I was visiting him, it was really bizarre because the key lines were there, then the face was there, the makeup, the blush, the flush, everything was ready, and nothing else was printed on the kimono. And I thinking, man, why don't you do stuff? He said, I'm going to spend 6 weeks, whatever, doing all the kimono, and then screw up the eyeball.
Yeah.
No, he puts the critical stuff in first.
Got it.
And then the ones he will cull, ones that are maybe a little bit not quite so good or whatever, cull those, and away you go into the rest. And Ito-san did the same thing, critical stuff first. Because you're always at your game anyway, because you're carving every day, you're printing every day.
Yeah.
Dave, 30 years ago Dave, and today's Dave, he's carving some, he's doing other stuff, printing some, whatever. So you don't get back. So I'm never at
Top of your game.
Yeah, never at the top of the game. So starting this one, I'm going to start with the eyes? No way. I started with the least important stuff that's going to be hacked up and bumped up to get me back into my game.
Yeah.
This is not the recommended way to do this. It's just life.
Yeah.
So every day when I come to every new block, I'm not starting all over again.
Yeah.
But, so a professional who is always on it will normally start with critical stuff first.
Yeah.
So the last few strokes are meaningless. Doesn't matter. Anyway, carve the first stroke, carve the second, carve the last stroke, bing, hi, next block, carve the first stroke, carve the next stroke, carve the last stroke.
Yeah.
There's no sense of stress. Oh my God, here I am. We've done 99 of these. I've got to get the last one right or it blows it all away. It's not like that. It's just do your job,
Yeah.
whatever. So. Cool.
So, question from me based on discussion earlier with Edo print style or printmaking styles and the Kansai region's printmaking styles. Did anywhere else make them, or was that pretty much it? Those 2 regions.
There was some printmaking in Nagoya a little bit.
Okay.
Again, I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Okay.
This is historical research. Dave just
There's
knows
Doi-san.
about wood and stuff. Yeah. There were some publishers in Nagoya because it was a major urban center.
Yeah,
too.
true.
But obviously, there's nothing happening in the countryside because publishing doesn't happen in the countryside.
Yeah.
Publishing happens exactly as it does now. It happens in New York and
In London and
whatever.
Tokyo. Okay.
As long as you're making physical products and stuff.
Yeah.
So no, it was I don't know what percent, huge percent Edo, some smaller percent Osaka, some smaller percent Nagoya were the 3 main publishing centers, of course.
Makes sense.
there were bookshops, there were sales agents out there, but they weren't, you know. Like there was
But
no
they were
true
buying the-
craftsmen. Yes,
yeah.
of course.
Buying the products from
Distribution.
somewhere else. Yeah. Hi, Westwind 77. I'm tuning in for the first time in a long while. Glad I caught some carving. And you'll be carving for a little while yet.
Won't be so bad, you know. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to make any comment about how long it's taking me to do that. But we're moving along.
Yeah. It's the key block. The rest of the blocks won't take as long
not
per
at all,
block,
not
right?
at all, not at all, not at all. Is Aliana San coming today? If so, remind me. I got to talk to him about the color blocks for this.
Okay.
I haven't spoke to him in recent time about this, but I asked him like half a year ago or so, and I need some blocks, Hagaki size blocks for the gift print.
Right.
And then in recent months, I forgot to bring it up with him. And he's been asking me about blocks for the Cat series, blocks for the Oban, stuff like this.
Yeah.
And he may have slipped his mind, this one.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about it, because we even set aside a couple of pieces of wood for it. I saw them.
Yeah.
But if that wood isn't actually ready, prepared as in ready for me to carve with it, then he's got to prioritize that job. So I forgot to ask him about it. He may not know I'm doing this. So. So Hagaki size ita arimasu ka? 97 or 8.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a few color blocks.
And I was thinking about the Ome video stuff too. I'm not ready yet. But
Right.
the two next videos for me, one is the private project video, and one is the beginnings number 3.
Right.
In beginnings number 3, I have a problem with it. There's a lot of props. It's the Poets series video about the Poets series.
That's
all the
100 prints.
blocks and all the prints and all the tools and all the publicity memos that's in the
Yeah.
drawer and stuff. All the props I need to make a video are out in Ome.
Yeah.
So it sort of makes sense to think about making that video out in Ome.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, the camera, the lights, all the other stuff, the physical, are all here. You know?
Yeah. But you did just send another tripod over there, is
Yes,
that right?
there's a tripod there.
So,
yeah,
so the camera's not too horrible to bring over, but lights and the teleprompter,
the
that would be
tripod,
rough.
actually, though, it wasn't really meant for Ome. It was meant for you and me. It's this one. It's a replication
okay.
of this one, so you can use it upstairs.
Got it.
And it was just a bit too heavy and bulky for me to bring back last night. So
Got it.
the reason I went to Ome was packed with some other stuff that I ordered that was all Ome. I should have separated it.
Wow.
The teleprompter, I don't know. The next beginnings will be a Rambo, so it
Yeah.
shouldn't actually need the teleprompter. It would
Got
help to have my index cards on the prompter, but so I don't know. I've got to sort that out as well too.
Yeah.
And here we are coming into September. So. Okay, I think that corner is done. It will definitely need some trimmings after we do test printing.
Yeah.
Try and get the shape of these curves. You know, I put egg on my face when just before you came. You were showing this. I had the original. Where am I here? This part where my finger is.
Zoom out a little bit, maybe.
There we go. Okay, that's what fingers. We were showing the original has really nice taste. The guy just did his brush, shum 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 shum
Yeah.
shum shum, one stroke, shum 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 shum, and the brush stroke has thick and thin and thick and thin and thick
Yeah.
and thin. And I flipped over to show how wonderfully I replicated it, and it's crap. It's triangular, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. You know, look at this: up, down, triangle, triangle, zigzag, 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 zigzag. I sort of caught it, but I didn't catch it much. And probably what it is when I traced the original, I didn't catch it when I did the tracing. And then again when I
And then you match the tracing.
Yeah, whatever. So it's embarrassing. I want to go back and redo this. I guess this is my chance. I am now in the process of redoing this. So
Yep.
here we are.
Huh. How long has the font video been online? Out 5 days?
Yeah,
Sunday? Saturday?
I put it up on I did it over the weekend, right? Went up
Yeah.
Monday morning after the stream. Monday morning stream, but went up. It's not doing very well.
Yeah? Oh, okay. Well, we just got a second request for using it in a commercial application. So people like the font.
Was or to Marco? It should have gone to Marco.
Yeah, I'm going to redirect him to Marku, but
Who's
it was
this from?
another.
What,
an app called KineMaster. I think they say a video editing map, Kine Master.
Can we link it? People talking about this, whatever,
Yeah.
if it's somebody who's interested. Or
Yeah.
interested.
So they're saying,
Is
can
this
we
a-
use your font in our app? We'd like to
So is it
make sure
something-
it's free for redistribution.
Okay,
and
so we
stuff.
could talk about this. They've got an
think
app
so.
to promote or something.
Yeah.
Sure. Have a quick look at this.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't read it. When you click on the webpage to download the font, there's actually a little license file inside there. Marco prepared a license file.
Right.
So when you bring the zip package down, it's got the font for installation. It's got a little file to read.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, using commercial use is actually okay, I think. I
Yep.
forget the exact
As
wording,
long as you
Marco.
keep this license with
Yeah.
it, so people know where it
But
came
maybe
from.
what they want is they want the better version, because there is a much
That
better
could be,
version.
yeah.
Right, okay.
That's the app's
Okay,
website.
anyway,
but
if Marco's here, I haven't seen him, I don't know. He's
Me
probably
neither,
in
yeah.
bed, so. Just pass it on.
cool. Yeah.
How are we doing for time? We're okay?
9:13. Do you have a
Oh,
show and tell?
I have a tiny show. It's the block from Kawasaki
Oh,
yesterday.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
but other than that, I just wondered what I should start. I guess what I need to do next actually is block out the hair, go around
Hmm.
the hair, and do some persuading to clear it off, and then get into the hair. I'm not going to start in the middle of the hair and work outwards.
Yeah.
I'm going to start on the outside and work in. So good. If it's 9:13 now, what I can do then? Also, my knife is now the really sharp part's been used up. So I need a rougher knife. So what I'll just do for the rest of the stream is I will block out the hair so that I can then do the persuading, clear out the space, and then for the next stream when we come back, I will now actually start hair carving. So,
Got it.
and if you remind me at about 9:20 or so, let's do the bit of let's show that wood block.
Okay. We've got another question. You noted the small details present in Snowfall at Masaki. Does using the microscope help you in making similar tiny details for the ring or hair on the chrysanthemum bridge?
Yes, of course. I could not do what I had just done. I carved the chrysanthemum here the other day. I could not do this without the scope. I'm 67. I'm really, I know, even in a normal day when I'm walking around the shop, people have started to ask, Dave, are you okay? I bump into stuff. I get 2 steps. I trip on the stairs. And this is not like, I don't know, well, I don't think it's so much losing this. I am having trouble seeing stuff, Everything's kind of blurred. I
Yeah.
can read that, living with little blood prints.
Yeah.
I can't read a newspaper without glasses at
Yeah.
all.
I can't read newspapers here either.
And you're so young, yeah.
No,
So,
it's the Japanese.
so,
Oh, here's another delivery.
those other deliveries yesterday, they're all on a touch cone, so they're print party paper or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so. This is only?
No, it just says wood, Mokuzai.
Oh, it's Aoyama-san, the stuff he sent for plane dressing.
okay. Got it. Has Dave tried a stereoscopic microscope?
That's what this is. This is a stereo mic. That's a stereoscope.
Yeah.
There's nothing else I could use. Stereoscopes allow a great distance between here and here, and you can't see what I'm doing. Whatever.
Right.
Get my hands in.
Yeah.
This is a stereo microscope. And it's not, we don't need it because it's stereo, like with 2 channels.
Two-dimensional, yeah.
We need it because of what the structure of the lenses and the size. And there's a little quirk in it. Ford Hallam also, the metal engraver, metalsmith, used to be in South Africa. I think he's in Britain now, I'm not quite sure. He seems to move all over the place. He's using one of these, and he uses it in a raw form. He's got pretty much the same model I do. I have a 5 and an 8. He's got one of the 2 of them. But he uses it in its raw form, and I can't. In its raw form, without an adapter lens on the bottom here, the field of view is too small. I can only see, for example, 1 square centimeter or so, and I need to see wider. Now,
See where you're going.
What I'm seeing here at the moment is I see from the tip of my finger there down to here. So I'm seeing a circle about this size. I don't know if I'm on screen or not. And then in the middle of that, I can see the little work I'm doing. And I can only do this because I've got a reduction lens. This is an 0.5 lens, which
Yeah.
destroys the microscope function. It cuts it in half.
Yeah.
It doesn't double it. Like a 2.0 would double it, and 0.5 cuts it in half.
Yeah.
But in doing so, it also widens out the field of view.
Yeah.
So this turns it into a perfect tool for me. Without that reduction lens, this scope would almost be useless for me. It seems to suit Ford because he works on little tiny areas at a time, and he doesn't seem to need a wider view because he's for the most part not doing lines. He's doing textures and points and scoops and
Yeah.
stuff like this. But I'm doing lines, and in order to carve here, I've got to see where we're going. I've got to know where it's going.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect scope. It's a stereoscope which allows me to put my hands in. It's got a perfect field of view. I sit back from it. I don't know if you noticed, but as I'm
Yeah.
sitting here, I'm not, these things are not touching my face.
Yeah.
I'm just looking down into these two black tubes here. It's such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tool.
Yeah.
When I first tried using it, I think I got it for the Shiki no Bijin series, the Utamaro one. That's when it came.
Yeah.
I got it from NCR in Texas. The factory was going bankrupt. We put it on eBay, and I got it at that time from Texas.
Nice. Wasn't that a Japanese brand too? Yeah, me.
It's a Meiji scope. So
Yeah.
I bought it from America,
Yeah.
from a Japanese company in America that was closing the factory. So. And they'd been using it for integrated circuit study and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when I first used it, I really had trouble because I was trying to put my eyes onto it. I was trying to join my face to it. My shoulders got tired. My back got
Yeah.
cricked. I thought, just give it up. You can't do this, Dave. Until I realized, don't do that. Just sit here peacefully. No stress in your body. No strain. No stress. Turn your head forward. Oh, look in there. I can see some stuff down there. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking down into another world.
Yeah.
It works so well. I could just do this all day. So we have two of them now. We have a Meiji Series 5. Which one is which? We have a Meiji Series 5 and a Series 8. The Series 5 is the binaural, and the Meiji Series 8 is a trinocular,
Got it.
which we have the idea that we would like to put a camera up there, but after trial and error, we still have not found the right combination that I can afford to make that happen. And that's the goal, to have this scope where you guys are looking down through that third eye
Yeah.
onto the surface of the wood. That would be just so cool. I should stop teasing about it. Well, it's not teasing, it's
It was mentioned before, because this is a smaller sized print, it's a reduction, it's going to be simplified. How do you
Yes.
choose which impressions to leave and which to keep?
well, simple. It's got to be a print that looks sensible. And in the original version we had, I should give this up. In the original version, it was cost no objects, and there was, I think it's 23 impressions.
Yeah.
And we are going to cut it down to it's 6/7/8. Haven't decided yet.
Okay.
And it works. We can get most of it. We won't have the ruby as its own separate color. We won't have her lips as a separate color. We won't have her skin tone separate from the background. The skin tone is going to be white, the same as the background.
Yeah.
There won't be a pink here in her kimono. That would be white. There won't be a hanko. There won't be two tones in the chair behind her. Things that I can't say that they're irrelevant. They're important in this print, but in a tiny, tiny postcard size print, we don't need it.
Yeah.
We're going to have the key lines, pretty much as you see them here.
Yeah.
There will be a block for the hakama, her skirt type clothing, because it needs to be there. That's two.
Yeah.
There will be a color for the base tone of her upper kimono. It'll be a kind of a lilac. Here, this one's actually in 3 tones. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then what we will do is the yellow of these flowers will be the yellow of the flowers. It might be a bit paler. It will also print on top of the lilac to give a pale greeny tone. Then the dark green of these flowers, leaves, will also print partly on top of the lilac to give another tone there. So we will have an upper kimono that looks a little bit different from what it is here. This is light lilac, dark lilac, pale green. Ours will be a little bit of a different tone.
Yeah.
And that'll be, what did I have? Key block, hakama, yellow, and green, and upper kimono. That's 5, and that will give us the print almost exactly as you see it here. I said 6, 7, 8. Let's see where it goes from there. We need a gray undertone for her hair, and that will also be printed with the same block in a darker with a gradation. So that's, are we at 6 now, or are we at 7?
Yes.
Ki Hakama Kimono, yellow, green, gray. That's 6 blocks, 7 printings, and we are almost there. And I said 7 and 8 in reserve. That'll be, okay, maybe we'll have something in the middle of these flowers, or maybe we'll use something for this chair, and maybe we'll put her arm in. But I wouldn't go any farther than that.
It's now a little after 9:20.
Okay, let's have a look at that block.
Didn't want to interrupt the explanation of the blocks, but
Thank you. I don't know if I'm visible or not, or what. It's up to you.
Yeah.
So this is from Kawasaki-san, our star carver living in Kobe. So glad she came along to us years ago. You know, she's been doing most of our subscription prints up to this year. And from last year, we switched to a different system. Chon-san has been doing our subscription prints, and Kawasaki-san has been doing more sort of a level up. She's been doing all the cats. Not the 8 views cats, but she's doing
gourmet cats.
The gourmet cats. Yeah. She's done the ramen cats, sushi cats, hanami cats. Yeah. Maybe gourmet cats should be the name for that series. Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
so they're all eating sushi.
Anyway, what she's been doing, and we talked about this when I sent it to her, I did chat about it on stream here. Keep it together, don't throw it away. We're going to use it.
Nam Nam Yanko. That's
tuck that back in there, because that's what I'll be using later this afternoon to send her the first block when I get the first color separation ready.
Yep, can't read the newspaper.
Kobe newspaper, yeah. What's the news in Kobe?
Yeah, fireworks and stuff.
Okay, here we are. Now let's have a look at this. So I've got the other one still here handy. There it is. Okay. This print design needs 2 key blocks. She carved already for me over the previous month the key block 2, which will be the lighter key. And we also need a darker block. And also this block has lots of mudabori. I don't know if I have the... Can I take the computer back for a second here, Cameron? I think I have the original still here. Let's have a look. There it is, Zenkoji. Let's pop this up. Hey, we got it. Good. This is the print design from Jed. This is a Photoshop rendering. It's not a woodblock print yet. I don't know if you can see it. Let's pop it up again. There's darker lines. For example, up in the area where the guy is drumming, the stand up there is quite strongly... Oh, I can't do both names. Let's see. What can we do here? Just a second. Let's try and fix it. Okay, okay, there's the stand up there where he's drumming, and it's done in darker black lines. The other parts, if you look at the temple in the background, the lines are much fainter. So we've split the design into 2 pieces of wood. One that will be printed in a more of a darker black. She's printed it as test printed Kawasaki. The reason it's black now is Kawasaki-san, in order to carve it properly, has carved it partially, printed it, carved it partially, printed it, carved it partially, printed it, so she could see what she was doing.
Yeah.
She didn't do that with this one, which we'll talk about later, because I wish she should have done. But anyway, this is the block for the lighter lines. The crowd at the front, all here, the temple up at the back has lighter lines. But there's something special about this one. Look at this. This is the drum stand and the hanging lanterns.
Yeah.
Why would the hanging lanterns be black? They're not. The hanging lanterns are simply glowing light. And you look at each one, there's actually a red line around the outside of it. That would have meant making a 3rd key block, which is just no way.
Yeah.
Impossible to get them lined up. So we carved what's called murabori, wasted carving. This block has black lines that will be in the finished print, and it has the lantern outlines which will be red in the finished print. So as we make the color separations now, printing these and transferring to the color sheets, she will be able to see on the block that is going to be red, and it'll actually be covering the whole face of the temple. It'll be a bright red block covering the whole face of the temple and these areas. So when she carves that red block, because these black lines are here on the tracing, on the carving, she'll be able to see how to carve that red block. And once we do our test printing and it looks okay, we will come back to this block and rip all these. We will just waste all this work. We will carve, take it away, leaving the stand, leaving the legs, leaving these ropes and strings that hang the lanterns.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of work, but there's no other way to do it
Yeah.
other than take a risk and print block A, block B, block C, all from Jed's Photoshop. And we've learned over years, it's just no
Too risky.
way to do that. It just doesn't work, doesn't work.
Cool.
So in a nutshell, that's how Murabori works, and that's what we're going to be doing with this. So there's the print. People have also been asking, also Sunday morning, this is not a print that is going to be in any series. This is going to be an independent, standalone print.
Yeah.
This is not part of a cat series. It's not part of an Ukiyo-e Hero series. It's not a subscription print. It's nothing. It is just a single solo woodblock print. And the size, it'll be something, well, you can see the size. So here's my two hands. It'll be this size. It's our size called Chuban. The size of old-fashioned Harunobu prints or our Doi Hanga prints, the Matsushima print. It's the same size as that. When will it be ready? Don't know. Don't care. It'll be ready when it's ready. Kawasaki-san's going to work on this, but she's going to get interrupted soon because she's going to do the first key block for the 8 V's of Cats as soon as I get the cartouche ready. And that should have actually been ready for her today, but I just didn't get on it. Okay, gang, there we are. I think Cameron-san and I really have to get back to work. I have a
Lot to do.
rather a lot to do this morning and tomorrow. Sizing is waiting for me. I put the glue in last night to soak.
Right.
It is soaking. I've got about 4 liters in there. It's going to take me all day, most of the day to get through it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Schedule. Today's Thursday morning. We'll be back here. I'll be
Saturday.
back here Saturday morning. He won't.
Yep.
I'll be off gallivanting around with your kids.
Yep.
Going up to Niigata?
Not this weekend, no.
Waiting for the colder weather?
Yeah.
Just waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, gang.
Later.
See you in 2 more days. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now. Oh, you can't see the computer. Okay, hi. Sorry about that.